The galvanized body of the Peugeot 405 is practically not subject to corrosion, only with time rust may appear in the lower part of the front fenders. The bracket for attaching the spare wheel, located outside under the boot floor, also rusts. The design of the exterior rear-view mirror mounts is unsuccessful. Their adjustment is often confused by the oncoming airflow. Salon Peugeot 405 is very comfortable. For the first time in a car, after a few minutes you feel as if you have been driving it for more than 1 year. The lack of trunks of cars produced before 1992. High loading height. To increase the size of the trunk by folding the rear seats, you can only wagon brake. Engine. On average, the motor resource of Peugeot 405 units is 300,000 kilometers. A characteristic drawback of battered specimens that have run more than 200,000 kilometers are all kinds of leaks. Oil leaks through the ignition distributor seals, front crankshaft and camshaft oil seals. In addition, old engines are distinguished by a fair amount of oil appetite. The electronics of the models of the 80s are also unreliable. Often there are all kinds of failures in the ignition system, including the fault of a defective distributor, as well as a general increased sensitivity of high-voltage wires to moisture. There are frequent cases of coolant leakage at the attachment points of rubber pipes. Over time, their clamps need to be tightened. A characteristic feature of carburetor engines is the failure of the engine cold start system, which is accompanied by increased fuel consumption and difficult starting of the engine. With too loud work, all power units need to adjust the thermal clearances of the valves. Diesel engines do not have valve seals, therefore, with active driving, oil consumption increases in the transmission. The cars were equipped with 5-speed manual and 4-speed automatic. In the mechanics, semi-axle oil seals occasionally leak, but otherwise there are no serious complaints about this unit. During operation, you need to carefully monitor the condition of the CV joint anthers. Riding with the leaky boot leads to the failure of the grenade, and it is only supplied complete with the half shaft and is not cheap. It is better to refuse to buy rare all-wheel drive versions of the X4. Transmission parts may require expensive repairs. Suspension. The chassis of the 405 has a high ride smoothness. An independent suspension is installed in front, and a torsion bar in the back. On average, every 50 to 60,000 kilometers in the front suspension you will have to change the bushings of the anti-roll bar, and after 60,000, ball bearings. In the rear torsion beam every 80,000 kilometers it is necessary to install new bearings of the balancing arms. Steering. The steering has good feedback. More expensive modifications were equipped with the hydraulic booster, which often sins with oil leaks from the steering mechanism. However, if desired, the rail can be replaced with a conventional mechanical one. Peugeot 405 will attract buyers with relatively low cost, good corrosion resistance, comfortable interior and excellent handling. Although it should be noted that many cars in operation are very worn out.